I think the issue in this election is the lives of working people. This is what we need to focus on as Democrats. And too often, our party doesn't seem to be laser focused on the needs of working people. My whole campaign is, my message comes down to 3 words: working people first. And I believe in my heart that defines the message and the vision of the Democratic Party. And not only are we going to be able to transform lives in Iowa and all over this country, we're going to be able to win. Because that's what was missing in 2016. People didn't know if we were truly on the side of working people, if we were truly on the side of organized labor. And this time it has to be crystal clear. So I'm running because America's not working for working people. And it can work. People all over this country, and it's across the entire country. It's rural areas, it's urban areas, it's people of all different philosophies. They know that the federal government is not on the side of working people, and they know it's captive to the wealthy and the 1% right now, and the big corporations and Wall Street, and that's what people feel. That's very, very fertile ground for us to go out with a message of real, intense, bold change. And I can speak to that as someone who has made these big changes in the nation's largest city. Changes that have affected everyday working people, put money back in the pockets of working people. And we're also fighting for the heart and soul of our party. Because I fear there are so many voices in our party that want us to be Republican light or want us to be moderate to the point that we don't actually stand up for working people, that we sometimes as Democrats are afraid to call for the big changes we need. Let me tell you something. The Democratic Party should be a party that is always ready to say, we are the party of organized labor, period. Period. That should define us. That we are the party that's ready to say the wealthy are not paying their fair share of taxes and they need to, or we can't move this country forward. And I'll tell you, anytime you talk about actually investing in working people, changing the lives of everyday people, providing support for education, for healthcare, for the things that'll make people's lives better, you always hear voices out there saying we can't afford it, telling us there's not enough money. Well, I always say there's plenty of money in this world and there's plenty of money in this country. It's just in the wrong hands. We as Democrats, if we say that strong, clear, people are going to hear it and they're going to feel it and they're going to believe it. And I've said it all over this country and I know that's what people believe and they want to hear it from us. So I'm able to talk about these issues from the perspective of someone who's actually put these ideas into action. New York is it's not just the largest city in the country, it's the most diverse place on earth. It's a tough place to get things done. But we've done big, bold things. I said we would put money back in the hands of working people. And we've given families, working families, the kinds of changes that they needed. Free pre-K for every child. We achieved that in this city. It's made a huge difference in people's lives, lifted a burden from them, and it's allowed them to give their child the start that they really, really needed. Paid sick days for working people, so they don't have to choose between a day's pay and going to the doctor to get well. $15 minimum wage. We've done it here. And every time we've done things for working people, there are all the critics out there, all the business leaders who say, you know what, we're going to lose jobs and the sky's going to fall and the economy's going to be wrecked. But brothers and sisters, it's always the other way around. When we put money back in the hands of working people, they spend that money. And it makes all the difference in the world. And it makes our economy stronger and we have more jobs. So I can speak from real experience. And we're doing things that are only being talked about, that are only being envisioned. We're actually putting them into action in New York. We're guaranteeing health care for everyone who doesn't have insurance. So I'm sick of waiting for universal health care. We're going to do it right now. We're giving everyone a health care card who doesn't have insurance so they can get a primary care doctor in our public hospitals and clinics and get the help they need for themselves and their family. We're doing something that should have been done a long time ago in this country. We're passing legislation this year to guarantee working people, like every other industrialized country in the world, to guarantee working people by law 2 weeks paid vacation every year. That's the kind of thing that would transform people's lives in Iowa, all over this country. And if we stand for those kind of things as Democrats, people are going to be moved. It's going to make them finally have the hope that there can be real change. And I'll tell you, I've talked to Iowans, and so many Iowans I've talked to, they're not looking just for a little bit of change. They don't want healthcare to just be a little bit better. They want a lot more healthcare for their family. They want mental health care. All those clinics that have been cut back, all those services cut back, particularly in rural Iowa. They want people to have the services they need. They want investment in education. They don't want education just to be okay. They want the kind of investment that helps our educators make our schools better and better. People don't want just a little change. They want big change for themselves and their families. That's who we have to be. And I also have to talk about what we need to do to change the support for organized labor, because we know that the federal government's been running away from organized labor for decades, and it's made your jobs harder and harder. But the work you do is more and more important than ever, because working people, they're stuck, and they know it. Middle-class people stuck economically, they know it. They need help, and organized labor is the answer. But so often this party doesn't seem like we're actually willing to go to bat for organized labor no matter what. One of the first things I would do as President of the United States is fight to enact what I call the 21st century Bill of Rights for working people. I want to tell you, it includes the protections for labor organizing, the prohibitions that we need to stop companies from inhibiting labor organizing, from ensuring that their employees only get one side of the story and don't hear from organized labor. We should fight for federal legislation that makes it impossible for states to have right to work laws. I have never heard a more misleading phrase than quote unquote right to work. My Bill of Rights says we should ban that practice at the state level by federal law. We should ensure that people all over this country cannot be fired without just cause and due process, whether they have union representation or not. We should ensure that folks in the gig economy have a right to specific wages and benefits, and that they be portable. These are the kinds of things that are going to strengthen the hand of working people everywhere, and therefore strengthen the labor movement at the same time. These are things that can be done, and the meaning of the labor movement is clearer today than I think it's been in many years, because working people know they're not getting a fair shake. They know the government in Washington is not on their side, and they know they have to band together to defend their interests. And that means the work that all of you do is not only more crucial than ever, but it's a chance for us now to pass the laws and do the things starting from the White House that allow organized labor to fulfill its potential all over this country. So that's what I'm going to fight for. And the last thing I want to say to you today is about how we beat Donald Trump. We have to be the party of working people again. We have to be the party that says We're going to put working people first. We're going to put money back in the hands of working people. We have to be that unmistakably. We lost in 2016 because a whole lot of people stayed home. Labor union members stayed home. Some even went to Trump. A lot of working people felt there wasn't going to be change either way. A lot of people stayed home who were progressives, young people, because they didn't hear a vision of bold change. We have a chance to get it right, to turn out our own people and then build a broader coalition. But we have to be the party of working people. And I'll finish with this point about Donald Trump. This is a guy with a glass jaw. This is a guy who promised working people the sun and the moon and the stars and then gave away the store to the wealthy and the corporations. People see it. They know that that tax giveaway was not for them. People see it. They know he lied to working people. We have a chance to go out to the people of Iowa and the people of America and say, Donald Trump lied to you. And I know from my many years of watching him in New York, he's got a glass jaw. He's a con man. When you call him out, when you confront him, when you fight him, he doesn't know what to do with that. So I always say when I conclude my remarks as a New Yorker, I want to offer my formal apology to all of you gathered there in Iowa. I apologize that you ever got to know Donald Trump. But this New Yorker volunteers to get rid of him for you. Thank you, everybody.